Right. Okay. Where are we?
Jesus.
Okay, I think we're back. So we're recording here and there. All sounds all right. How's that for you? So, the Dobcast, I think. Is that what I'm calling it? I still don't know. Could be the Matt Dobbs experience, could be the Dobcast. It could change it to be something else. I just don't know. But sure, we'll run with it and see what happens. So, first of all, a bit of housekeeping. So, a big thank you, first of all. The podcast, it's been received really well. I've had a lot of views, a lot of comments, a lot of shares, the whole thing. Even the wee sort of subsequent clips I put out after, like wee highlights and whatnot, did really well. Got loads of shares, comments, people saying, "Oh, this is great, love to see it," the whole thing. And even a lot of messages of people just saying, "Look, really glad you did this, really enjoyed it, fair play to you," all that sort of thing. And it's really, really nice to hear. So I really appreciate it. Thank you all very much. That's been good fun. And then, of course, a bit of an apology. It's been a long time. I'm sure you're heartbroken. I've been busy. Like, aside from anything else, I've been busy. And I suppose I can now tell you why. So I talked about it on their podcast, funny enough. So I'm now full-time with Drift Games, which is pretty cool, pretty wild. Yeah, it's like, I've said to them before, like, they're like, you know by now, like, they're very humble. They're very much like, oh, we're just normal people. But in this sort of scene, in this niche, in this world, like, they're a pretty big deal, and fair play to them, rightly so. So I know a lot of people, like, I could be standing with Dave and, loads of people in the space of 5 minutes come up asking for a photo, and, like, fair play. So, to even get near people like that is kind of a big deal, but to be able to work with them and to be friends with them and to hang out with them and stuff, that's good fun. So, like, it's been pretty cool. I'm excited because there's a lot that we can do, and there's a lot that we're talking about, plans for the future. And, like, my role is sort of, like, as with any of us, like, it's sort of varied, but that's fun. So, like, I'll not go into too much detail about it. Basically, like, there's a lot that we've talked about. Like, I think the main thing is that, like, I'm excited, and like, everyone's excited because, like, I think I've said before, like, you kind of should be, like, if I were to go out and be like, right, okay, well, I suppose we could do this, that's going to show. You need to be, and I think that's sort of another reason why I've delayed the podcast so long, is, like, I've wanted to do it again. It's just, like, if you're to sit down and be like, right, I have to do this, it's not going to be the same. Whereas today I was like, do you know what? Here's what I'll do. I've had 2 weeks off around Christmas, which is mad because I've never had time off over Christmas. And basically, yeah, like, I think if I were to just sit down and go, well, sure, we'll see what we can do here, it absolutely shows. And fair play to Dave. Like, we were sitting recording the podcast the other day, and, like, he was, on and excited and great. But it's sort of like, it makes you realize that you have to be, like, if I was in the worst mood ever, and someone then set the camera down and says, right, go record a podcast and be excited about it, I'd be like, what do you mean? So, yeah. Anyway, I clearly don't know what this schedule's going to look like, but we'll see. I mean, to be fair, like, you would think Oxford doesn't take an awful lot of time. It's sort of, I thought that myself, and it took me that long to set this up because I had to get the angle of the camera right. I had to make sure everything was sort of in the right position. I had to make my wee cup of coffee here, which, by the way, mug of the day before we go any further. If you're listening audio only, you're missing out. This is a lovely wee thing, handmade in Riga, Latvia, one of my favourite places in the world. And I just really wanted it. I kind of wanted, like, a cool wee, I like mugs, there's no secret. I've too many mugs, but yeah, I wanted, like, a wee, hang on, take a sip. Oh, lovely. Yeah, I just wanted a cool wee souvenir that, like, I could use, hence a mug, handmade. So, yeah, and then, of course, running into, sorry, I've got a wee notebook here as well. My mum got me this for Christmas, nice wee, some waves and stuff. I'm going to use this to, like, keep my life on track. So, yeah, then I also ran into technical issues. Like, we're on it's not bad, actually. It's kind of what's the word? An improvised setup, because usually I have a nice wee softbox light here. Plugged it in, the bulb blew up, as you do. So this is now basically a giant flipping lamp, just standing there, and then I've got a mirror here. Like it's a whole thing. So yeah, but we make it work. That's how I would love to do in general. Like I'd love to be more transparent in my own content. I suppose I've tried to do that before, but like I mean, really, like show what goes into behind the scenes. Because like again, I've talked before how like it looks all glitz and glam. It's easy to show off a polished product, but showing what's going into it. Like I did this year, or last year it is now, 2025 it was. I did that entire year on like a 5D Mark IV, which if you don't know, like they're a good wee camera, but like I was really trying to like push the limits to an extent, because like there's so much more I want to do that camera just can't do. But it's good, for what it is. Like that was not a terribly expensive camera, but yeah, I don't know. I would part of me would rather that, like the hardship, than going out and buying like the most expensive camera I could afford and then not being able to use it. But that said, I do want to upgrade soon, but that's another point. And then also show like the sort of, I think the mental side of it, because again, like that's, I sort of dipped my toe in there a bit. That's kind of the problem. It sometimes is that like, your own mental health gets in the way and stuff. And I think, I want to talk about that more, because like I've always sort of said this before, like if I have to be a bit vulnerable and even run the risk of making a bit of an idiot of myself, but I can help one person, great, I'll do that. And where was I going with that? This is what the notebook's trying to help me to do, because I don't know what it is, but it's probably ADHD. But it's I could start on the best point in the world, and then all of a sudden something else. But yeah, no, I want to talk about, sort of be a wee bit more open with mental health, because like it's something that can get in the way. It absolutely is. Of course it is. But no, I've lost it. No, it's completely gone. Listen, we're just going to steam train on, because usually, like I've done this before, where I've gotten to a point like this and I've just gone, I'll restart this, but I'm not doing that, because what's the point? So we'll come back to that at some point. But the plan for this episode, basically, it's like I want to do like a 2025 overview. So I didn't even put out any questions, stories, or anything, because I kind of won't have time. I want to run through not every event I did this year, because I would be here all week. But like some real highlights and stuff, So yeah, the year it was busy. Like, don't get me wrong, at a point I felt like I was away every weekend. But it was fun. Like I got to see some class stuff. I know I've said before, like last year. Jesus, I'm so confused now. It's 2026. In 2024, the year of our Lord, at the end of it was in Poland, in the final, and I was saying to my mates like, I'd love to do a full season, but I don't know how. And here we are. I did a full season and then some. So, it started with Driftmasters round 1 didn't happen, obviously. That was a bit of a handle, and that was to be Rome, and then the Pope died. So listen, fair play to him, but it kind of scuppered everything. And it was very, if you remember, it was very touch and go, as to we weren't sure if it was like totally cancelled or if it was going to go ahead, because obviously the funeral, like it was, it had to be planned quite last minute. And so then it came out, well, sure, it was on the Saturday, I believe, which meant that like no way was that event going ahead. So, what can you do? Fair enough. So I didn't think we were going to go back to Rome at all. Now we are, which is good. I'm excited for that. That'll be fun. Some people went anyway last year. Like they had the tickets, they had the, the accommodation. They just went to the Pope's funeral, which was mad, but fair play to them. So that brings us to round 2, which was the real sort of first round or whatever. There was obviously a bit of confusion whether it was round 1, round 2, but it was round 2 really. And that was in Madrid, which was class, because I hadn't been there in 9 years at that point. And Madrid's really, really nice place. Really enjoyed it. So it was myself and, was it 5 others or 5 in total of us? I think it was 5 in total. We had a nice wee Airbnb. We got a rental car. Like, it was really handy, because I mean the track's not far from the city at all. It was like 20-30 minutes. Really, really cool track. I really liked it. It was like, and we're going back this year, which I'm very excited for because it was brilliant. It was just a really nice place. Like, it was well set up. The garages were great. You know, the pits were, like, it was nicely set up. There's a nice wee cafe that did really nice coffee. Speaking of which, before this go cold, oh, that is delicious. So it was a class track. I really liked the layout they ran. It was like a big fast entry into like a long handbrake track, and then you got into like the wee sort of more technical session that was kind of, or section that was kind of banked. There were a few, like, it was really good for video because there were some really cool spots. A lot of like the sort of highlights and the sound clips that I've used or whatever are from Madrid because it was just good for that. It was a weird one for competition because a lot of the big guns were thrown out quite early. But it kind of gave a chance to some of like the, I suppose, the rising stars or whatever, you know. So no, it was really exciting in that way. But it was what I loved as well. Like, they didn't just have music playing; they had a live DJ, which was class. I had Shazam on flat out. I was getting tunes. It was like one big party, and they had, I'll find a video if I can, like, the whole banks were just full of people. Like, there were so many people there. And yeah, it was just like a big party. They had like all the marshals that were there. I don't know if they'd seen drifting much before, but like, they were so excited about it. They were all about it. And like, when a good run went past, they'd be going and like doing the face, and like, oh, they thought it was class. And like, in fairness, it was really nice. Like, after a good battle, when the drivers were going back to the start line, they'd be clapping them in, giving them a round of applause and stuff. So yeah, they were all about it, which was pretty cool. I really, really enjoyed Madrid. It was so hot though. Like, it was, and obviously it got hotter throughout the year, different rounds we were at, but maybe at that point I just wasn't used to it, you know, because it was only like 26 degrees, but still it was like, whoa. And I remember it was on the race, like the competition day, and I was wearing black cargo trousers, and I had to cut them in the shorts because I was like, I literally can't stand this. So I was standing on the pitch, just like, you know, with a pair of tin snips or something, just basically ripping the legs off these things. And I was like, right, that'll do, good. And on I went. Still socks pulled up in the whole thing, not ankle socks or anything. And so there I went to, you know, back out to the track to get to work. And I was getting loads of photos sent in of myself on the live stream and stuff, with like one trouser leg longer than the other. I looked like an idiot. But here, it worked. Cooled me down rightly. I was throwing the water into me. And overall, it was a really good event. I really enjoyed it. It was good fun. And I got to see around Madrid City again, which was really nice because, again, I hadn't been there in 9 years, so I was going like, I remember this place. This is cool. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. It was somewhere a wee bit different for me because obviously had they been to that track before? I'm not sure. But Drift Spain in general, I kept saying I wanted to do more Drift Spain events. I never got the chance to because some of the tracks they went to looked unbelievable. Like, there was one, was it Andorra? It was like up on the border of Spain and France, right up in the mountains. I mean, the place it looked stunning. The backdrop's unbelievable. They did, I think, a round or two there. I don't think they're going there this year, which is a shame. But I would love to see that. And then they did, was it the grand final of Drift Spain last year? They did that in Madrid but in a different layout, which was really cool. Made for some really cool videos and stuff. So yeah, I would love to see more of that. But yeah, that then, what did I do after that? Because there was a lot of, I did a lot of Irish Drift series sprinkled in through that. But again, I don't want to talk about every single event I did because, like, we'd be here forever. I have stuff to do. I don't really, but listen. As soon as I'm done, I'll probably set the sim back up because over Christmas I've been on the wee sim flat out, and I've been drifting about and having the crack. And it's so much fun. Like, it's addictive. The next thing I want to upgrade is the wheel because I'm using like an old Logitech, and it's great. It's grand. It does the job. But my God, what a noise they make! Like, if you've ever used them, you'll know what I mean. I think they're gear driven or whatever you call it, and the force feedback's like it gets a bit annoying. But anyway, that brings us to Finland, round 3, I think it was. I've spoken at length about staying with Black Smoke. I'll not bore you with that anymore. I did a wee clip or two about it, which did really well. So thank you for that. But that was class. But the event itself in general, unbelievable. Like, I'm looking forward to next year. It's a different track now that I've never been to, but it looks like a lot of fun. I've heard a lot of good about it. Like, a bit of a shame that we won't be back at that track because there were friends of mine who never got to see it. But I'm sure we'll be back there someday. But it was brilliant. I'd never been to Finland, so I was excited for that in general. Myself and a load of lads flew to Helsinki, and yeah, then just got a train. I got a train north the next day, I think it was. It was actually pretty easy to get to. Like, I'd heard a lot of people being like, "Oh, Finland, it's a nightmare of a track to get to." It wasn't really. It was okay, but it was. I mean, in general, class. Like, it was. So if you didn't know, Power Park, it's called. And I'm sure I've talked about this before, but anyway, it's like a big mad center park sort of thing. Like, it's a big sort of holiday venue for families. There's all these nice, log cabins, great accommodation, campsites, roller coasters. The track itself, I'm told, is actually a drift track, or sorry, a go-kart track. But it's rated like one of the best in Europe or best in the world or something. Like, it's class. And it was awesome. Like, it was really, really cool. The atmosphere in general was just mad. Like, even around the pits, and just like the Finnish fans are mad as it is, but when they're on home soil, my God, it was just different gravy. It was class. And even like, I've shot drift events in the rain and been absolutely miserable. And it's like, oh, could you be bothered with this? But like, it was lashing there. It was. There were some days it was pretty horrible, but like, nobody cared. It was just so much fun. I was like, oh well, whatever. I threw on a wee sort of camera bags, basically. So as long as my camera stuff was dry, I was like, whatever. And it was so much fun. Like, it was. There was one of the nights actually we had a sauna in our log cabin. Really, really nice accommodation. Like, it was class. And one of the nights we all left our shoes and stuff in the sauna, and if you had smelt the boof of it, it was stinking. But like, needs must. Do you know what I mean? What can you do? But it was a really, really fun event. It was just, yeah, it was really cool. It made for some really cool photos and videos and stuff, because a lot of it's quite fast, and then there's wee sort of tight technical bits. And then that last sort of wall run, like, it's hard to explain. It's way more banked than you would think it is. Like, on camera it looks, steep enough, but like, I keep looking at it, but like, no, but I promise you, like, it's steeper than that. Like, if you stood at the bottom and tried to climb to the top, like, I think you'd struggle. It's steep, like. So it's probably weird to drive, because there's a lot of elevation changes. There's big sort of bounces and stuff. But it was so cool. I can't even remember what happened competition wise. This is the problem. Like, I'll be at obviously one of those events the whole day, shooting photo, video, whatever, and people say, "Oh, did you see what happened to such and such?" And I'm like, no. I can't remember. Like, it all just goes by so fast, and you're sort of focusing on other things, I guess. So I remember Connor Shanahan won, didn't he? It was Tor Arnikavia in second. That's all I can remember. But yeah, it was great anyway. Like, it's such a cool track. But again, I'm really looking forward to this other track in Finland, because I've seen a lot of clips of it, sort of more national stuff. And I would love to do more like national Finnish stuff, because it's such a fun place, and they're so big into drifting. Like, I've been told before, it's just like, it's so normal to them. Like, here it's like not an underground thing, but it's kind of like, thankfully it's getting better, obviously, but like, not your average Joe doesn't really know about it. Like, I have to, when I say to people like, "Oh, do you know drifting?" They're like, "No, what's that?" And even people who might kind of be like into cars or know, like, or whatever, you have to explain to them what it is, and it's sort of loses the fun at that point. But yeah, to them, I believe it's like quite normal, really, which is class. So fair play. And another fun thing as well, because it's such a mad venue, the driver's briefing and the media briefing is in a big gingerbread house. Like, it's mad. It's such a weird spot, but very cool. And then there's the big palace, which is like, it's just like a big sort of venue hall where they had live music on. They had like some Finnish band. I didn't know who they were, obviously, but like, everyone there did. So they were clearly a big deal, But yeah, it was really, really cool. And then I think it was the weekend after that, was then like straight after that I was at no, it was just I think it was literally when I got back. Um Jared came over from Canada, and so we did all sorts. Like, I was doing quite a bit of driving, and no rest for the wicked, as they say. We did the Irish Drift Series. It was round 3 at that point, wasn't it? Watergrass Hill, which was my first time there. And it was also my birthday. And this year will actually be the 3rd birthday in a row that I've worked a drift event, because there's always something going on. But that was fun. It really was such a cool track. It's so much fun. I think a lot of the drivers seem to really like it too. Some really, really good spots for media. It was lovely weather the whole time. It was just one of those sort of, like, it was just good. I hate to use the word vibes, but it was just a nice atmosphere. Bob sorted us out with the brownies and stuff. What a baker. And I remember there was one moment I'll never forget it. It was hilarious. We were there was a bit of a break. I think one of a car had gone off or something, and I was standing like down. Imagine basically down this end. It doesn't really matter. And I could see Jared from the other side, and I saw him like waving over to Babs, the marshal, to cross the track, and then he ran across with no camera gear or whatever. I was like, what on earth is he doing? And he went over, picked up a load of brownies, and ran back across. That's what he was doing. He was just stocking up. But fair play. I mean, it made sense. But that was a really, really fun event. I can remember the competition aspect of that, because it was class. Like, that was, I believe, the first time that Francie Hines qualified. Is it Yeah. Aye. Anyway, it was the first time Francie qualified, and class. Like, I think he went into like top 16 or whatever. See, I should look all this up before, because I can never remember. But anyway, yeah, like, I near lost my voice shouting for him, because I think he's a class driver, like class car, and just a real nice lad. Like, all that team in general, Candy Culture, they're just class. Like, they're very much like the epitome of just making it work. Do you know what I mean? Like, they did a documentary a while ago, that was basically about that, like about the story of the team, and like, it's very much just like it's a team effort. Do you know what I mean? It very much shows you that like everyone in that team plays as much an important part as the other. It's not like, oh well, sure, your man, like, he's running things and then they're all sort of there. That's not the case at all. It's like, really is a case of lifting each other up and stuff. At this class, they're so much fun to be around. So that was unreal. And then Matt Darren as well. I can't remember where he placed, but he got into the pro day then, and again, near lost my voice shouting for him, because I was so chuffed for him. Matt and Kat, husband and wife, the Polish drifting couple, they are just some of the best people you could ever know. They're so much fun. They're absolutely mental. Like, they're both just crazy, but so, like, they would do anything for you. They're great. And I've loved hanging around with them. So, and Kat as well. My God, if you'd heard the screaming of her, like, I couldn't repeat it, because it was Polish swearing, basically. But yeah, like, cheering each other on and whatnot. And he was, I think, the happiest man I've ever seen. Just to be able to battle, he went up against Dwayne McKeever, and just to be able to battle a Drift Masters driver, like, he didn't care at that point if he had won or absolutely burst the car. It didn't matter. Like, he was so excited to be able to go up against him. That was class. So that was a lot of fun. And then there were a load of just unbelievable battles. Harry ended up taking the win, if I remember. It was Harry and Dean Byrne, wasn't it? And it was great battles anyway. It was just, yeah, and some really fun photos. Some of my favourite photos this year, actually, were taken that round. Because it's such a picturesque sort of track. It looks class. There's so many different, bits and pieces you can try out. Great fun. So that was that. And it was nice to show Jared, like, this is Irish drifting, because he'd never seen that, obviously. So that was amazing. And we did wee bits and pieces for my birthday. We had a nice wee meal in Cork. Yeah, good fun. So after that then was Driftmasters round 4 in Mondello then. So we stayed in Maynooth. We stayed in the university accommodation there. And the reason I'm pointing this out it was a bit mad. Like there were a whole, like, the place itself was fine. I mean, it was university accommodation in the middle of summer, so there was no one there, which was grand. But it was a bit bizarre. Like the yeah, one story that sticks out to mind. There was one night, like, I was tired. You're out, working all day. Like, it's tired. It's hard enough going. Like, boohoo, but whatever. And it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and there was just this almighty racket outside, and it sounded like a school group or a tour group or something, and like blissfully unaware that anyone could have ever been there. Because again, this was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and they were full volume, like not even trying to hide it. And one of what I can only assume was a teacher, she was screaming the head off at them and, like, telling them off and all this here. And I was about to go out, in my boxers and be like, what are you doing? What do you think's happening here? What? Like, I was raging. To be woken from my slumber at that time, for that, I was like, there's no need, and like the curtains were down and stuff. You could tell like someone was in there sleeping, whatever. Didn't think it was on, but anyway, I'll take another sip of wee coffee here, and that'll keep me going. But yeah, Modelo Park, genuinely one of my favorite tracks in the world. I don't know why. I just love it. I think it's because I know it so well now. Just I've been there that many times. It's just, when I go down, well, you'll know people anywhere, but like I know a lot of people there because I've been there a lot. Like you get to see familiar faces, the whole thing. Yeah, it's just fun. I think a lot of drivers seem to like it too. There's always like really good competition, really good battles. That weekend, I mean, that was when Peter Vinsek got, was a 99.5 or something qualifying run. I mean, unbelievable. And then went to win the event. Like, it was class. I'm a big fan of him, but I love, when it goes to that extent, where do you go next? But it was just, I mean, it was unbelievable to see. Like, it was class. It was just, yeah, it was a real fun event as always. If I remember, the weather stayed okay, which is shocking because Mondello, like, the joke is now you won't even check the forecast because what's the point? It'll not be right. And it's usually cold and snowing and freezing and the whole thing. But it was nice. I think I probably had the sun cream on, which I know, not a surprise, but like, yeah, it was good. That was it. I had the VHS camcorder, so it was a JVC something or other. When I was like, even before I was born, my mum and dad bought that, like, to film us as kids and stuff, and I'm now using it. Used it at that drift event, and I haven't really done much with that footage. In fairness, I need to digitalize it, or whatever the word is. The problem is, like, I've tried a few different ways, and it's not like, you could plug it into the TV to sort of preview it through the S video or through the composite cables, and it looks class, like really good. Has that nice VHS look, but it's like crisp. It's like looks really, really good. It would have been an expensive camera in its day. But when you try to sort of put it through, like I've even tried to record it with like OBS and stuff on the laptop, it doesn't look great. So if anyone out there is good at that kind of thing or knows what they're at, certainly please help, because it would be class. I would love to do something with that. There's loads of footage there that I just haven't used. It's on the wee high 8 digital tape, or yeah, those old, not digital, high 8 tapes anyway, if you remember them. So yeah, that would be really cool, because I got some fun videos on it. So yeah, that was really fun. Did a wee bit of experimentation with that, and just, yeah, I had a lot of fun. It's always a fun event. Stayed with a couple of mates, went out, had nice meals and stuff. Like, yes, I've been down there a lot, but we were still going and seeing places that I hadn't seen, which was nice. What did we do after that? Because Jared was over for like 3 weeks, so he got to see the Irish Drift Series in Cork, and then he got to see Drift Masters in Kildare, and yeah, so that was fun as well, to be able to be like a tour guide and show someone like, oh, this is This is what you're missing, bro. That was a lot. Don't say that again. Never. No, that was fun though. What else went on after that? Because the next one I have written down is Riga, which I'm excited to get to, but there was surely more. Again, loads. Like I did loads of stuff. But yes, Riga. Wow. I've said this a lot, but probably that if I had to pick one, that probably would be my favorite track in the world because it's kind of got everything. It's everything about it. Like I've always said that you fly into Riga, which is not a very like Dublin direct to Riga. That's great. And 10-15 minutes will take you to the city centre. Another 10-15 minutes will take you to the track. It's that simple. Like it's so easy. It's not that expensive when you're right there. I usually stay in the same accommodation, which is like 2 doors down from Kebab Factory, which is a great place, by the way. And I mean, the track itself, it's wild. Like it's fast, but the first time you see it in person, you're like, oh, it's that fast. Like it's, oh my god, it's pretty mind blowing. But it's just it's just sort of got everything. The marshals are class. Like they ran the track in Poland, and they're switched on. Like they know what they're at. They're fast about it. They're really good. And they're happy to sort of let you they'll help you do your thing basically, and keep everyone safe. But and in terms of like the media center is a really, really nice wee place to be because there's aircon for a start because the heat there was unbelievable this year, and the humidity as well. If I remember, it was like 95% humidity. You were outside of the apartment for a minute and you were sweating. Like I was horsing water into me and juice and everything. And I might have pissed once in a day. Like you were sweating it all out. Sorry to be crude, but I mean that's the case. Like you would have been it was dire. So yeah, it was tough going, but it was great. Like it's such a fun place to be, and it's the fact that like everyone loves it, everyone's excited for it. It's Riga baby, as they say. Like it's always so exciting, and the competition never it always lives up to it, never lets you down. It is and it was mad. Like I remember it took, I think it was maybe the 4th or 5th battle in the top 32 before we actually got a clean run because like people were going into the wall, people were spinning in the tires. Like it was just, you're pushing that hard. Like I'm just about getting there, getting to grips with the basics on the sim. Doesn't matter how many times I try Riga, I can't even get the entry once. Like it is fair play to the guys to be able to do a run at all like that. It's unbelievable. And I remember talking to drivers at the after party, I was going to say last year, 2024, and they were saying, like, you're typically, is at the top end of 4th gear, maybe even 5th, like, you're basically screaming the whole way around until you get to, like, the wall run, where you'll start to obviously lose a wee bit of speed there. It's just screaming and left foot braking to, bring it around. It's mental. I'm not going to claim that I know how it works. I just do the videos, but mad, like so fast, and like the noise. My God, like see if you haven't been, you need to go to basically where the media center is, where like the VIP grandstands are, down at the wall run. Basically, stand there and just listen. If you get a good run in the morning when there's not many people there, whatever, practice. The sound of the cars battering through the forest before you can even see them is just absolutely mad. And then going through the forest, if you're doing media, it's so handy to get around now. It's a big track. Like if you want to get, say you're at the wall run, for example, and you want to go up to turn 1, you want to go up to the start line, you're walking out of the track and taking 20 minutes. Like it's a big walk. I've never walked to the start line because that would literally take you, I think people say it takes like 40-45 minutes to walk. I'm not doing that. Even on the scooter, it'll take you a good 10 minutes flat out. But that, like, see, turn 1 in general, it's such a cool place to be. That's where I've lost filters and stuff before. In fact, there's one, there it is there. Big crack in it. Where, in fairness, it's my own fault. Like, I've been sort of leaning down, like, the lightest wee gravel drop, you're just getting hit in the eye. But so be safe out there, kids. But it's class. Like, there's so many cool spots there. The old grandstands were allowed on as media. And so you get to see that whole entry. You get to see them firing it on down. Like, there's just so many cool places you can go. And then you can go, there's a wee tunnel that takes you right underneath the track, and you're in the forest then. And even just standing in the forest is mad, because, like, if you can't see the cars, you can, you hear it all going past you, and you would look around you and think, oh, this is just a nice wee Latvian forest. And then you hear all that going on. It's, yeah, a wee bit mental. But really, really good fun. And again, like, the atmosphere is just always class. Like, the crowds are brilliant. There's a lot of Finnish fans go over. Obviously, like, it's very popular out there too in Latvia. And it's just such a nice place to be. Like, it's a beautiful wee city. And as I say, it took to October last year, my third time there, to actually see the city, because I was usually too busy. But it's just such a nice place. And fair play, like, the people who organise it, it's brilliant. Like, it's so much fun. I've always implored people, and even, like, there's friends who do media who haven't really been to Europe too much with it, and I'm like, just go to Riga. Like, that is the first place, if nothing else. Competition wise, it was unbelievable. Like, it always is. Even, again, starting from top 32, there's always just something going on. Right up to the final with James Dean and Peter Vincek, class. Like, there was a good clip that they put out where it was it 2023 compared to 25? And I mean, like, there's like pretty much the same battle. Like, it was mirror image. The two guys, clearly they know each other very well. They know their driving style. Like, I mean, like, where do you go from there? Because, like, some of the proximity, especially if I remember now, the chase last year that Peter was giving James was just ridiculous. Like literally pushing him over the line. But again, only possible because of the lead that James is doing. Like, so it's really, like, but that's what I quite enjoy about it, is that there's kudos to both of them there. You know, you could say, oh, well, sure, Peter, brilliant chase. Yes. But also, like, wouldn't have been possible without just like a staggering lead from James. Class. It was brilliant. I love Riga so much. I'm sure you can tell. I'm so excited about it. I cannot wait to go back. So that'll be fun. Riga's always good. And Latvian people are fun as well. Actually, one wee point while I remember. So they, if I'm not mistaken, they don't have Starbucks out there, because basically they don't need it. They have Caffeine, which is their own chain, and it's brilliant. Such nice coffee. I had a cinnamon bun latte in one shop, and it was brilliant. It was right in the old town. It was lovely. And like a wee berry tartlet. Oh, I've thought about it ever since, to tell you the truth. And yeah, Caffeine's great. Really, really nice. So, how are we doing for time? Not too bad. I'll have another wee sip of my coffee. Oh, that is delicious. So, what else did I do after that then? I'm trying to think, like, what rounds were peppered in between then, because there was always something going on. But I like that, because sometimes, like, the big mad competitions are class, and there's definitely, obviously they have their place, but it's also nice to just do, like, the wee fun ones, like the Drift Games bashes and stuff. They're always fun, because it's just it's something a bit different. It's less sort of, I don't know, taxing. Like, sometimes, you know, we would go to events not working, purely just, like, because it's usually work, which is great, and it's, you know, it's still enjoyable. But there's kind of, like, there's some obligations there, there's things you have to do. Whereas going to some events just to fart about was good fun, make your own stuff and whatever, like, it was class. And I do enjoy putting out my own content and whatnot, and last year it did really, really well, which I really appreciate. Thank you for that. It was like, I think, yeah, there's a lot to learn there, and I think one of the main things that I try to keep in mind is, like, you'll see a lot of social media gurus, and you could scroll through your feed or whatever, you'll see them like, this is what you need to use, and that you need to use this trending audio, and their video might not even have that many views or not a lot of engagement. Maybe it does, but I don't know. I don't personally love, for at least for my stuff, and again, this is why I say, like, it's my opinion for my stuff, because that all has its place. But I like sort of, no, I don't want to say doing my own thing as if I'm reinventing the wheel, because I'm not. But there's certain, like, scrolling through a load of trending audios, and I'll see the same reel 10 times over, and I don't want to do that. And aside from that, I actually found, because I tried for a long time, using, like, right, well, sure, this is what they say you have to do, so I'll use this audio, and sure, that'll work now, and then no one would ever see what I was posting. Whereas when I just started, like, my best performing video at that time, by far, was just an RB making noise, and it did really, really well. And that pretty much continues to be the case. Like, I'll post, a fun video edited to cool music. It might do all right, but you get, like, a cool sounding car or a compilation or whatever, and it'll generally do very well. So, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that, other than that basically I enjoy, putting out my own stuff. And again, even with these clips from the podcast and stuff, like, they're fun to edit. Like, don't get me wrong, it's really fun, and they do well. I like this wee community, I think, that we've made, because, like, I've always said, like, I get a lot of support from almost random people online. But I love that it's, again, going back to the whole mental health thing that I never came back to, because I cannot remember where I was going with that. Sorry. But it's so easy to, like, what's the word or the term? Imposter syndrome is very, very prevalent in this field. But I think in a way it keeps you in check, because I'll sort of, like, I'm not posting things and being like, that's amazing, class, that's brilliant. And I think, like, if you did, then complacency almost creeps into that, and you'll start to kind of, I don't know, lose yourself a wee bit. Whereas, you want to sort of, like, it shows, I think, that you're, like, not chasing perfection, but you want things to be good. Basically, to be like, no, hang on, like, there's room to learn. There always will be. That's what I'm trying to say. But don't get me wrong, like, there's a lot of people, there's friends and stuff who'll, be very supportive or whatever. But a lot of people who, like, I've never met before. People who have just obviously come across my content and they take time out of their day to, like, say that they enjoy it or whatever. Like, it's something that, honestly, like, I probably should do more. But, like, I never really commenting on stuff. And I don't know why. I suppose there's an element of me being like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to, like, make an idiot of myself or, like, whatever. So, like, fair play, even for people, like, pushing past that, to be like, no, I'm going to, like, put myself out there or whatever, like, to comment on this, to show their appreciation. Like, it's class. It means so much. Because you don't need to do that. But, for people to just show that bit of appreciation or whatever, it means that, like, they must be enjoying it, So, yeah, it's class. It's really, really fun. And, yeah, things have been just moving well in that way. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say other than thank you very much. It's been a lot of fun. In terms of my own stuff next, or this year now, it is 2026, I don't know what it'll look like, because, again, it's taken me this long to do this podcast, but I think once I get back, I mean, I've also been, like, I'm off for Christmas now for a while, so, like, for this sort of break, so I have kind of just been like, do you know what, I'm just going to enjoy myself, because I've never really had time off around this period at all, so I've just been relaxing, farting about, seeing friends, whatever. But yeah, once I get back into the swing of things, I think it'll be a lot easier in terms of, well, I'll be working anyway, and then I'll, hopefully sort of take a wee bit of time to do my own stuff, which will be good fun. But yeah, anyway, we're still, I just had a moment there. I was like, we better still be recording over here, because if we're not, I've just been chatting to myself, which I have anyway. But listen, Germany, that was it then. Ferropolis, which was my first time there, and what a pleasant surprise. Like, it was, I always thought it'd be cool. I was like, oh, I really want to go there. It looks awesome. It was unbelievable. It was the coolest place I've ever been. Like, it's a different planet. It's just mad. Now, the heat was unbelievable. Like, I thought Riga was bad, and I physically couldn't believe the heat when I got to Germany. It was insane. And after every practice run, drivers are out in the lake swimming and stuff, because it was just that hot. But it was such a cool place. Like, Brad and I flew in the morning of, so I think we missed half the first practice or something, but then we were there. And it was so cool. Like, it's such a well sorted out venue. They have, I mean, it's made for like festivals and stuff, and they host all that. The food choices are unbelievable. I know that's like maybe it sounds like a silly thing to dwell on, but like there are some tracks where like the food, like it's difficult. Maybe they don't have like the same access. I don't know. The food maybe wouldn't be the best. Whereas there, you have any amount of choice. The bars are class. Like you can get like nice cold drinks and whatever. The food was, as I say, any amount of choice. It was brilliant. It was really, really nice. And then there were supermarkets and shopping centres like on the way there anyway, so we were stocking up with whatever we needed for the day. It was class. It was really, really nice. But in terms of like, again, atmosphere and stuff that I keep coming back to, it was brilliant. Like it was just so cool. Like even during the day, it was really, really fun, but especially at night because they run night drifting there. It was just different. It was something else. It was difficult in terms of like, taking videos, photos, whatever. Like my wee camera was struggling again. Like it's not top of the range or anything. So, trying to get it to work in that kind of low light is different. But I like a challenge, I guess. Getting to grips with that was definitely fun. And again, like I've always said, you can always talk to other people and be like, look, what are you doing? What should I do? What should I change? Yum yum yum. But it was cool. Like there were some photos there that I'm really, really pleased with. That was it was a lot of fun. What actually happened competition wise? That was it. No, there was the qualifying showdown, which was Connor and Jack Shanahan, and Brad and I had said that basically we would stop working at that point. We'd put the tools down and just go and enjoy it. So we sat there, had a wee beer each, and just watched the qualifying showdown and just took it all in. Because again, like you're there and you're enjoying it, it's cool, but like sometimes it does take actually just sitting and enjoying it to really like soak it all in. Because otherwise, like you're running about, you're busy, like it's great, but like to really just sit and be like, this is what's happening, to sit in the crowd and be like, this is mad. And it was unbelievable. Like they're the most obvious statement in the world right now is they're just two of the best drivers ever. But it was class. And then the final the next night was Connor and Jack again, which was unbelievable. So to get to sort of basically watch that again, it was amazing. But even like the top four, which was one of my favourite photos I ever took, was Peter leaving Jack over the line. And there were so many fun wee spots around that track. You could get cool sort of photos on. Obviously the sort of the spotlights that hung over the clipping points and stuff made such a different sort of shot. It was a lot of fun. And even our good friend Niall, he came up. He happened to be working in Germany at the time, so he flew up the Autobahn and came up to visit basically, and that was really cool. So to obviously show him around, but like this is cool. Because I don't think he's done a lot of European drifting. So again, another one I'm always saying, like, come to Riga at least, So yeah, that was really cool. We all had a class time. And we did actually eventually go into the lake, which was funny. We got a pair of, what was it, €3 for a pair of shorts, and they felt like €3. And €7 for a towel, so €10 for the whole ensemble. And geez, these shorts were near see-through, but it was well worth it because, I mean, again, the heat was diabolical. So to get into the lake was just lovely. And it was such a nice place. Like it's a big old quarry. They've obviously just kind of let it flood naturally. So yeah, it was class. What else now? Oh, the music. That was it. Ah, yes, the music. They had a DJ. I think his name was DJ Yellow. And he had like, I think I have talked about this before, but anyway, like he had on like the Need for Speed soundtrack, that those kind of songs, Fast and Furious, all the stuff you grew up with. Oh, I was just walking around like the boy with all these tunes bopping. It was class. Really, really like added to it all, Definitely a big advocate for that now. Like music at those kind of events is cool, but like having an actual DJ there, different class. That was really fun. My legs sore sitting here, jeepers. So, We're nearly at that point anyway. So that brings us to Poland then, the final. And for the last 2 years now, I've almost made it like a tradition where I'll make a holiday out of it. Like Poland, probably my favourite country on earth. I love Poland. It's so much fun. It's just it's such a nice place to be. Like the first time I ever went to Poland was it 2024 or before that? If it was 2024, it was early anyway. And I went to Gdansk, and like I wasn't really. It was kind of on a whim because I literally saw that was it. It was a Ryanair flash sale, and the flights were really really cheap. So I was like, sure, we'll go and see. I was a wee bit apprehensive almost on the way over. I was like, I don't know what this is going to be like. Like this, like I didn't know what to expect because I didn't really know a lot about it. But my God, I was pleasantly surprised. Like it was just like Gdansk especially is a really nice mix of old and new. Now a lot of it, to give you a wee history lesson, a lot of it's kind of like recreated because it was all blown to bits in the Second World War. But it was really nice. You'd have like these all beautiful old style buildings, and then you'd have some of the Soviet sort of stuff mixed in, and then you'd have like big brand new shopping centres and all, and everywhere was just like lovely, really clean. Everyone was very friendly. It was just class, and I couldn't believe how like inexpensive it was as well. Like it coming from here especially, it was really really nice. But anyway, Warsaw it's different gravy because it's like I'm not used to a big city. You know what I mean? I live pretty much in the countryside. So going to there, yeah, different, but really enjoy it. Like myself and a couple of friends, 2024, we shared an apartment, and it was like it was like the best week of our lives. It was so much fun. We took a week at it. So we spent like the first 4 days, whatever, just exploring and just being tourists and having fun and doing whatever. And then we went to work at the weekend. And it was the same last year now. Myself and Simon, Jared couldn't be there, which was unfortunate. So Simon and I had a nice wee apartment, and we just had the crack. We went and did touristy stuff, and because obviously I'd been around a bit before, I was able to be like, oh well, sure, I did this last year. If you want to see here, and we were able to go back to the same places, the same restaurants and all, which was really fun because like, yeah, just to sort of go back and be like, oh, it's a wee bit different now, or like that's all changed. So that was cool, and we did some unbelievable stuff. Like we went up to the very very top of the Palace of Culture, which is I think the tallest building in Poland. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. I don't know. It's the tallest building somewhere anyway. Maybe just in Warsaw. I don't know. But the viewing platform up there is classic. You can see over the city, and it's beautiful, and it's such a nice part of the city in general. But it was a lot of fun, and then obviously again, working at that weekend, I was given track access, which was the maddest experience ever. It was so much fun. Such a privilege. Like there was, I don't know, not many people. But one of them being Larry Chen, which was mad because there I was standing beside Larry Chen, being like, I need to know what look like I know what I'm doing here. But it was class. Like it was again, the guys from Riga ran the track, so that like it was a well-oiled machine. Everything was like slick operation, and like there are obviously some great spots there. You can really sort of push the envelope a wee bit, and I was trying to do, trying to learn a lot, trying to do everything a wee bit differently if I could or whatever. But it was great. Like what an experience. And like in a big stadium like that, where the backdrop is a massive crowd, you've got pyro going off and stuff. Unbelievable. Just so cool. Such a like one of those ones you have to kind of take in. I've a wee disposable camera sitting over there that I need to get the film developed on, because there are a lot of photos from there. Actually, it's like a tradition now. We go to this wee camera shop in Warsaw, we buy wee disposable cameras, and we run them out during that week. So a lot of those photos, I'll not remember taking them. One of them was Brad dared me to try and do like a shutter pan, like a slow shutter or whatever, like a drag basically, with the disposable camera. So like I'll see if that worked. I don't know. And obviously the running joke is always like, we'll take a photo in the disposable, like, oh, let me see how that looked, but it was really fun. of course, because I was on the track a lot, I was getting photos sent to myself all the time. We're like, oh, I can see you on the live stream. And that was a bit mad. That was a wee bit surreal. You know, people from, like, friends from all over the world now being like, oh, I can see you. Or if they were in the crowd, they were taking videos. So we were like, oh, there he is, which was really, really funny. But, yeah, it's always a fun event because, again, like, if you want to talk about atmosphere, I mean, you're in a national football stadium with, like, 50,000 people. It's mad. And the noise of the crowd, like, there's a video I took on my phone, actually, just so you'd hear, like, the wall of sound. It was when, I can't remember who he was battling against, but Pavel Korpelinski got the win, hometown hero, and, like, the noise of the crowd was unbelievable. And I remember hearing him say that, like, he was hearing them in the car and everything, which usually you'd not really expect. So that was cool. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, we saw, I think it was the exact same final as last year, or the year before, wasn't it? Because it was Korbelinski and Connor Shanahan. Yeah, which was a lot of fun. So that was really, really cool. Again, I love Poland in general. It's just such a cool place to be in terms of venue or like an event. It's so exciting. Like, it's different. It's a different thing altogether. But yeah, that sort of wraps up. I suppose that wraps up the year a wee bit. Again, there's a lot that I've skipped over there, and even at that, we're sitting at nearly an hour here. So again, if I were to go through every event, Jeepers would be here all day. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to this year now. There's a lot. There's a lot I've learnt. Again, I want to upgrade my camera because that would definitely help me a lot. But there's just there's so much I'm excited to do, I guess. Especially again coming back to having a new camera. Like, there's stuff that I've wanted to do and not really be able to do. Like, that camera won't really do slow motion, so I don't even bother. But yeah, like there's a lot that I can do, and especially with drift games now, there's so much that we can, that we can push for, and so much we can do, and so much we've been doing in general. And yeah, I'll get back into that at some point, in further detail or whatever. But I don't think there's much else to add really about, like, this coming year, other than yeah, I'm excited. And I think that I should have got into that earlier. Like, I think that's important because, like, if you're not excited about something, or like, if you're, like I've always said, if you're posting for the sake of posting, don't. Like, I believe in that, because you'll just not really. It'll show, basically, like there needs to be a bit of passion behind it. So anyway, I think I'll wrap up more or less here because I would just ramble on. I don't think there was much else I had to say other than, no, that's probably about it. But listen, hope this has been enjoyable. I've enjoyed this wee walk down memory lane. Just yeah, chatting away. Anyway, listen. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Right. That'll do. I'll see you later. Aye. No. That. Right. I'll chat to you soon. That'll do. I don't know when I'll be back. Again, I'm sure you're heartbroken. Probably don't care. But anyway, listen. I'll see you soon. That'll do. Cheers. Right. That'll do. Right.